Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another Make It With Me Monday. It's so nice that things have cooled off. I hope they have where you are as well. If you are here in the Midwest like me, it was nice to drop away from those 100-degree temperatures that we had going on. That was a little crazy, got to admit. All right, I'm just gonna wait and see. Last couple of times I had some problems there. Somebody watched. Okay, good. So hopefully this is going okay then. A couple weeks ago I had one that didn't want to actually start live. It was very strange. All right, so just a reminder again that this mini catalog should already be in your mailboxes, I hope. And if you don't have one, please leave a comment, send me an email, give me a call, whatever it is that you need, and I will make sure to get one out to you guys. Sales from this catalog will start next week on September 2nd, or 6th, I'm sorry, 6th. So lots of great things in here. I could still only show you the cover until that sales period starts. So I hope that you have one of those in your mailbox or in your hands and you are ready to start looking at the fall seasons that we have coming up. All right, let's get right to it tonight. We have another vertical card tonight. So your card base is 4 1/4 by 11. I'm going to be using Berry Burst. Then I said grab 3 Designer Series paper circles, about 1.5 inches, and they can either be the same Designer Series paper or they can be different. Mine come from the same piece of Designer Series paper, but they are a little bit different because it has kind of an ombre pattern to it. It comes from this pack here, the 6x6 birthday pack. Let me I meant to look up the name of it. So give me one quick second. It is, I believe it's called Bright and Beautiful. I was gonna say Bold and Beautiful, I was close. Bright and Beautiful, 6x6, really pretty colors, great patterns, bright colors for making birthday cards, baby cards, just about anything you could think of. But again, the really bold and bright colors in here make it really, really fun for those birthdays. Occasions that you have coming up. So I recommend picking up a pack of this one. Again, Bright and Beautiful. And the 6x6 size is really easy to work with. There's that sheet I was talking about. So you can see it's kind of got an ombre effect between like kind of going from a pink into a blue combination. So I use that with our new Deckled Circle Dies. Now those are in the mini catalog, so you will be able to order those starting next week. But they add a fun little shape to what we got going on there. So my circles aren't perfect circles. They're from Deckled Circle, which means they kind of have a bumpy, frayed edge to them. All right, then you needed a piece of neutral cardstock, and that is 1 by 2, and mine seems to have wandered away. All right, well, we're gonna pause for a second and just double check the size of this one that's sitting nearby me. All right, definitely 2 inches. And a little more than 1. Okay, I'm gonna trim this down then. I don't know where mine wandered to. That's very strange. All right, so that should be, there we go, that'll work. All right, awesome. So you've got your 1 by 2 piece, and I need to post on there later that if for some reason the 2 inches was limiting, go ahead and change that up. That doesn't have to be super specific. It just gives you a rough idea of a size element that you might be looking for. So if your phrase is a little longer, no worries, go ahead and use it. That's absolutely perfect. And then some kind of a narrow ribbon. I'm actually going to be using this metallic ribbon. It's technically Sweet Sorbet, but it does kind of fit in with this Berry Burst color scheme that we have going on here. So kind of like that that's doing that. All right, so let's go ahead, and the first thing you're going to want to do is have that phrase ready to go. So I'm using Happy Birthday from Go To Greetings, and I'm going to go ahead and put that on that little narrow piece right there, like so. Let's see, that ended up a little bit high. I think I'm going to drop it down a little, and that's the beauty of having 2 sides to your paper. Ta-da, that's a little better. Alrighty. You may or may not want to have dimensionals handy. This is going to be your call, of course, whether you want to do that or not. All right, so here we go with the burnishing of our card right there. Now I'm going to put my bluish color in the middle, and I'm literally going to go middle, top to bottom, and maybe just a little bit off the side. All right, and then I'm going to put the other 2 on, kind of balancing the space in between each of those. And again, you can choose if you want to do any dimensionaling at this point. Pop up one of the circles, pop up all of the circles. That is completely your choice. I am going to use dimensionals on my phrase because I do like to have a little bit of a lift in there. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my mini dimensionals and put them on the back of my happy birthday, which again was from Go To Greetings. All right, and then I'm going to put my phrase. Now you can decide if you want it sticking out from the center one, kind of covering a couple like this, or maybe a couple like this. So this one I'm going to put up top. I have a variety of things to show you in my extra samples where you can see different things that I have done with the phrase versus the shapes on the side. All right, then I'm going to take my ribbon and I'm just going to tie a little bow. You can do a bow, you could do a knot, whatever you like, whatever is easier for you to work with. All right, come on, ribbon, cooperate with me. Oh, goodness. Let's try that again. There we go. All right. And then we shall pull that tighter, like so, and trim that off a little bit. And there's my bow. And you can decide again, where would you like to put this? Oh, you know what? I don't have my glue dots over here. There's always something that I managed to leave on the other side of the table, it seems. So tonight it was glue dots. Did anybody have glue dots on their bingo board? Alrighty, let me go ahead, and I like to put the item directly to the glue dot and then pull off the glue dot with the item itself. And then it's not sticking to your fingers or anything like that, and should be pretty easy to work with. And I'm going to go ahead and put that right up in the corner. You could put that anywhere you want to on your project, wherever it seems to fit the best. All right, so that is the layout in its simplistic form. Now I said I'd show you guys a lot of variety on what you could do with this concept. So think of it as a layout of just 3 similar objects, plus a phrase, plus a little blingy bow ribbon, some kind of concept, okay? So I took this concept, again, still with the circles. I pulled out the Let's Go Fishing paper and the Stylish Shapes dies. So they have a little bit of stitching around the circle. I'm not quite sure that's going to show up here, but hopefully you can see when I take the photo. This is actually the same piece of designer series paper, which is kind of fun. So I flipped it over and used just the blue side on one, and then I've got the regular fish on the other. The Thinking of You again comes from the Go To Greetings, and I use the boho blue twine that comes in the In Color twine pack. Okay, so that's another concept, again with 3 circle-ish shapes going off to the side. Now again, I thought, okay, what else could we do with shapes? So this is the Inked and Tiled bundle. So it comes with the Inked and Tiled stamp set, and then there's 2 matching punches. So I took the punches and I punched out some pieces of the designer series paper, and these couple I did back with some extra cardstock in coral, so they would show up a little bit better off of the petal pink card. I used some of the braided twine from the textured, okay, drawing a blank on where that's from. It's the one that I've used a few times with the pots and the really fun designer series paper. It's in that collection. I just did a little knot with that. And then the rest of this does come from the Inked and Tiled bundle. And I used my coral marker to just go around the edge of that just to give it a little bit of a separation. Okay, so again, we're thinking 3 shapes down the side. So then I went to this, where I took the Colored and Contour dies and stamp sets. So I took the dies. There's one that does one of the large flowers. I didn't stamp the flower. I used designer series paper again. So I did cut that out 3 times. They're all the same. Then I chose to cover that with an image. So I took the Colored and Contour stamp set, created this and die cut it out. It's in Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock. There's some Lost Lagoon ribbon, and then I did the Here For You Now is from there, and then the inside says and in better days ahead. So that's a nice phrase for inside and outside when you've got that card. And you can see I dropped this one down here because my big focal point is up here. I wanted to kind of drag your eye across the card. All right, now these last couple I had a lot of fun with, I'm going to admit. Okay, we have a die set that's called Give It a Whirl, and what it does is it creates kind of like a viewfinder type card, and this is one of the shapes that it uses. It's the heart, and then in the Happy Labels stamp set is this. You've got the biggest heart. So I punched out, or I die cut, I should say, 3 of the hearts from Bubble Bath in the Subtles collection, and there's one of the pages that has these little hearts all over it, which I thought was super cute. I embossed it with one of the embossing folders that's in the 3-pack from the online exclusives. And then I backed everything with a little bit of black just to give it some pop. And again, the black and white gingham ribbon is always a hit, just about with every project you can think of. Now, if you were watching my Facebook page this week, you will remember that I got a new car. I have always, ever since I was little, wanted a Volkswagen Beetle. Fell in love with them during the Herbie the Love Bug movies. That dates how old I am, in case you're wondering. But that is what I've always wanted one. So I was really finally glad to be able to get one. It's very exciting. So this is in honor of my new Beetle. This is the Ladybug Builder Punch. And then that's from the Hello Ladybug stamp set. And I also used the Dots and Spots die. So what I did is I die cut that out of white and then backed it with red. So that's why you see red polka dots all over the place. And then I stamped the black on the wings. This is all just using paper and a punch. So again, 3 pieces, elements, you know, so don't have to stick with just circles. Just think of 3 elements that are similar. And then again, black and white ribbon, always a big hit. All right, let's go back to the first one. Here was the simplistic version with just a few circles and a phrase. So this still has a similar concept. I added 1 layer here that I embossed, so still in Berry Burst. I added a second color or second layer to the Deckled Circle, so it has a Berry Burst circle in the next size up right behind it. I chose to focus on the Misty Moonlight that's in here, and so that is done in Misty Moonlight with some Misty Moonlight cardstock to pop it off there, and then a few of the Misty Moonlight gems that come in the 3-pack. And that again is that metallic, and I know it's a Sweet Sorbet, but it does blend nicely with a lot of the pink colors that we have going on. All right, well, I'm hoping that this was working and that I don't have to try to record it all over again. I've really been struggling with these connections this last couple of weeks, and I'm not sure what the deal is. So fingers crossed that it's there, and I will upload everything, of course, into the albums and to YouTube and all that fun stuff, hopefully by the end of the night. So there you go. So again, take the concept of a group of 3 similar things and go ahead and play with that layout. All right, hope you all enjoyed that. Please feel free to share what you made. See you next week.